Hello and welcome. In today's exciting episode, I make a gunny Saxoline dress. It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket. So I feel like I'm the last person to find out what a gunny sax dress is. But yeah, they were huge in America in the 1970s. These two women started a clothing brand, and it's basically very 70s dresses with multiple floral prints, but inspired by vaguely medieval, vaguely Victorian, so lots of historical inspiration, but very, very 70s and floral. And a few years ago, they became really popular again, I guess because they're sort of like Zimmermann dresses. But basically, you've got to use at least 2 or 3 different florals and long dress, puffy sleeves, that sort of thing. So then last year, Gwen from Gwen's Shenanigans decided to do a Halloween sort of one. And yeah, she had the hashtag sewing challenge, Gunny Saxoween. And yeah, a few people are doing it again this year. So I thought I would do one too. So here we are. I've gotten out quite a few sort of autumny sort of fabrics, as well as some gothic ones. I'm not sure what that rose fabric is doing there. There are some sort of yellowy mustard roses. Anyway, deciding on fabric was too difficult, so I decided to decide on the pattern. So this one's not particularly gunny sax. It is a big, long, flowy dress, and it does have short, puffy sleeves. But there's one version, the top one, that has different tiers, and I thought, well, I could use loads of different types of florals in the one dress. Or there's this one, it's a shirt, but I could just make the shirt and then sew to the bottom 3 tiers for the skirt. So maybe that one. And or I think it's B, the sort of blue check one in the pictures, but C has the long puffy sleeves, or I have this separate pattern for historic sleeves. And they're all pretty fabulous. But the top one there, which confusingly is B, I think, and A, which is the bottom one, and the rose pink one. I think the rose pink one with a little bow is particularly suitable. And then, there's this pattern here, and obviously you'd have to lengthen the skirt of the dress, and the sleeves again, I probably have to use those rose pink ones from the other pattern. But yeah, otherwise it's sort of got the sweetness and of the a gunny sax dress. And then there's this boho one. I like this one here, so B, I think it is. I like the length of A, but I like the sleeves of B. I think they're very gunny sax-ish. And I also like, in the line drawings, I like the collar. It's sort of like a mandarin collar, or just a collar stand without the big, actual collar. But you can't really see it in the dress. I don't know whether it's just the way they've styled her or, yeah. So I'm not sure. I think the sleeves are good on this one. And and that dress is very boho, but it does have a zip at the back to get into, so I either have to make it 2 sizes larger so I can make it without a zip, or get a zip for that one. And then there's this one, which on the face of it doesn't look very gunny sax, but I think the length is good, and the fact that it's got a tie and like a slightly higher waistline, not totally empire, but yeah, I think if I put the sleeves from this one, or some sort of puffy sleeves like those pink rose ones, I think that would make this more gunny sax-ish. And yeah, it still has a V. Very few of the gunny sax ones I've seen have a low V like that. Some of them do have very, very low sort of, but that's not what I'm going for. I think it's the waist tie that sort of makes it very 70s in my opinion. And I could just also add a ruffle at the bottom. I think that would make it look even more gunny sax-ish. And then there's this one. Gunny sax dresses are basically just 70s plus some sort of historical elements. And this is like from 1939. So I think if I sort of, I don't know, maybe put a ruffle on the bottom and made the sleeves a bit bigger. And I am going to make the purple one. I was going to do that anyway this month. But there's also this gothic sort of red and black print that I have that's very historic. This sort of print is. And I think if I made the top half with the print and then the skirt with the just plain black, it would make it look more gothic. And yeah, wow, the camera does not love that red. Yeah, so I think that would sort of make it look less like a 1930s dress, 1940s dress, and more like a gunny sack swing sort of thing. Maybe. That is my hope anyway. And yeah, I could do the pockets with this as well. So I think this look has potential at any rate. I am worried that it would look less gunny sacks and more Harajuku, Tokyo street style. And not that that's a bad thing, but it's just not, I'm not sure whether it's, I absolutely love Harajuku style. It's just streetwear that they young people make in Tokyo, and it's just absolutely fabulous. And they often mix a clash of different prints together in dresses that they make for themselves. And there's either the long goth ones or the super short colourful ones. And so that's what these two fabrics together reminds me of. But yeah, I think that's a good thing. But I think it would also sort of go into the gunny sack swing thing. So yeah, I definitely think I'll probably have to make some puffy sleeves to make it seem more gunny sack swing-ish. So yeah, I think this longer dress here, and I'll add a ruffle as well to make it even longer and more gunny sack swing-ish. I think I'll do that. Or, I don't know. I'm still not convinced it's Halloweenish enough. So then I went back to my fabric stash and I got out loads of stuff. And then I took out like the green, the blue, the pastels. And then I just put the rest of them on my workbench. And some of them are still not very Halloweenish, but they are autumnish. So I thought that was a good place to start. So we've got these four. They are sort of blues on a black or navy background with a lot of mustard in there, mustard flowers in there. And I do think they look good together, these four. Oh, you can't really see the fourth one. There's a darker one in there. But not very Halloweenish. So, I mean, those people, the other people who did that, Gunny Saxon, didn't necessarily use Halloween prints or autumny tones. I'm not sure. So I've got this autumn one here. It is very autumn, but and I've got another one here. The thing is, each of those have enough fabric to make one full dress. And I have enough to make a beautiful puffy sleeve shirt in that. So I don't want to chop that up. And this one I have 6 yards of. So I really want to save that for a vintage coat, because I just think that would be spectacular as a vintage coat. But and I don't want to cut off a bit of it and use it for this and then find out I don't have enough for the vintage coat. So, and likewise, this linen and cotton mix is just so beautiful. It'll make such a beautiful shirt. So I don't want to sort of use it up on something like this. So I've got these purple ones and they look gorgeous together. And purple is a Halloweenish colour, and there's also some autumn tones in there. But it's not feeling Halloweenish enough to me, this combination. So then I have this Sally Kelly print, and again, it's absolutely fabulous, but it's not very Halloweeny. So I'm not sure. I mean, I do have some floral ones that will go really clash beautifully with it, I think. And I could definitely make a combination of 2 or 3 different florals that into a dress, but I don't know. And then this one, I feel like these ones are too pastel-y. I got them out because that bottom one is orange, most definitely. But I feel like I'd want to hero this fabric here, which is my absolute favourite of the peach and apricot fabrics. So yeah, I think I'll put them aside for another time. If I do a Harajuku style one, then that combination would be absolutely perfect to make a dress out of those. And this one, it's sort of sage and nutmeg tones, and I think they look lovely together. That one kind of looks like a bed sheet. It's actual fabric, floral fabric, but it looks like a bed sheet. And they do look really good together, but again, they look more 70s floral than Halloweenish. So, yeah. Oh, this is another Sally Kelly print. And, these are very peachy, orange-ish, and it's coming off very pale in the video. But yeah, they're gorgeous together. Like, I'd make the puffy sleeves out of the lighter one and the body, most of the dress, out of the other one. But yeah, I don't know. Again, it doesn't seem terribly Halloweenish. So these are my most autumny ones. This one I absolutely love. I call it the ketchup and mustard floral mix. And I absolutely love that. But I've only got about 2 yards of it, so it can make a mini dress or a shirt with big puffy sleeves. Or I could pair it with something else. And yeah, I don't know. Or I've got this bunny one. It's got rabbits, squirrels, and I don't know. And then it pairs beautifully with these other 2 florals. But again, it sort of seems a bit too pastel and, yeah, sedate. I don't know. Maybe. They do look very gunny sacks. And then at the opposite extreme, we've got these bright pink ones. They're sort of all 3 have got this sort of brightish pinks in them, and I think they'd be good together. And then yeah, these ones are sort of, oh, it's not coming off, but they're sort of teal, greeny teal, and yeah, mixed with lots of mustard in there, and I think they'd all look good together. But yeah, I don't know. Candy corn. I could make a candy corn dress. So I've got the muslin in the creamish white with the bees on it. Could be the top bit and the sleeve and the puffy sleeves, and they could be and then I could have yellow and orange. But I mean, that would be hilarious and fun to make. But in all honesty, I don't think I would wear it, so it would kind of be a waste. So I'm not going to do that. I'd rather just, yeah, only make things that I want to wear. So I do love all of these fabrics, but I'm just not feeling them for this project. I think I really quite like the idea of Harajuku style. So once I've done this Gunny Saxoween one, I think I might sort of revisit the whole mix and match dress thing, and yeah, sort of make it more Tokyo, sew my own Tokyo street fashion wardrobe sort of thing. I very much like the idea of that. But for now, I will stick to this Gunny Saxoween, and I think I'm going to do a gothic one. So this print, it's very historic, and the motifs and things. And I think when it's paired with the black, it just sort of, yeah, becomes more gothic and dramatic. So I'll do, there's only 2 yards of it. So yeah, I think I'll put all these other ones away just for now. And even though they are very autumnish, but yeah, no, I'm just not feeling them. Yeah, I'll put these ones away and I'll cut out something from the gothic ones. So my choices, I think my short lists are the 1939 with the top half in print and the bottom half plain black, or the simplicity one, the longest one, that. So the front in print, and then the ruffle, the belt, and the puffy sleeves, all in black, but the cuffs of the sleeves in the print. So I think, yeah, those are my options. And of course, I'll be using the puffy sleeves from that second one, the middle of the second one. So yeah, I think those are my shortlists. Oh my God, I'm just incapable of making a decision at the moment. But yeah, I think those are my two best options. So I finally cut into the fabric, and I should probably show you this second because I cut it out after the other one. So yeah, I did go ahead and do the top half. So the bodice is the print, and so are the pockets. And then the collar and the skirt, both front and back of the skirt, are in the plain black. So yeah, it'll just and then before I cut out that one, I cut out the front of the skirt in the print. Then the back of the dress is sort of all one bit, so I did that in the black. And then the ties, the puffy sleeves, they're these puffy sleeves here, except I made them even a little bit puffier than that as I was drawing up the pattern. And then, yeah, so the sleeves are going to be black. The waistband, higher waistband, is going to be black. And see what the dress looks like when it's finished. But I think I will probably also add a black ruffle around the bottom just to make it look more gunny sacks-ish. So, oh, and I added cuffs as well, and they're in the fabric. So I think I'll put the 1939 dress aside just because it'll be too confusing if I make up both dresses, film myself making both of them because the fabrics are the same in each dress, but they're very different patterns. So I think I'll put this one aside and maybe film it later and put that up as a different video. But for now, I will just, make this long dress. And I'll just hang up I've cut all the skirts out. So I'll hang them up and let them hang out and let the bias drop. And I'll get on with the sleeves and the bodice. Okay, I've got the bodice bits for the front of the bodice over on the left there. And in front of me, I'm just going to start with the sleeves because they feel like the simplest. They're odd. It's a 2-bit sleeve. Well, 3 if you count the cuff. But it's like in half, just above the elbow, not like upper sleeve, lower sleeve. It's top and bottom. So weird. I've pinned them together and I just have to sew them. There's like, you're supposed to gather it, but I just did a couple of box pleats because I'm in a box pleatish mood at the moment. And the cuffs, actually, as soon as I get the machine out, I decide to do the cuffs a different way. So now I've sewn them together and then I just hand stitch the seam allowance, and then I also sewed the cuff on, and then turn the other side, the unmachine sewn side over, and hand stitched that one down. And then I did the seam, the actual long seam. So yeah, I've done one. Now I just have to do the second one. Okay, they're both done. That was as thrilling as you would think. A lot of hand sewing in there because there's so many seams. So I wasn't thrilled about that, and they don't look that great. Next is the front bodice. Just have to stay stitch along the front, sort of the V bit, and then after those were done, this pattern's very cool. Then I had to machine sew the two insert bits together and then turn it over, and I had to stitch them together, understitch on the facing side. So I've done that, and I'm really quite happy with the B placement here. So then I had to match up the notches and pin these together so that I could sew them all together. So this will be the whole of the front. So once that was done, then the next step, so I'm just admiring the bees and the flowers here. I think the placement is really cool. And so the next thing is that I have to do the back. So yeah, great. I was hoping that I wouldn't have to, because the back bodice is actually the skirt and the whole thing in one. So yeah, I have to stay stitch this as well. So just stitch it because it's on the cut on the bias so that it doesn't go anywhere. And then I had to machine sew the shoulders, so the front and back together to create the shoulders. And I did that. Super exciting. And the next bit is the facing. So there's a front facing and a back facing, and I had to put interfacing the white stuff, iron that onto all 4 pieces because there's two front facings, 2 back facings, and all 4 of them had to have the ironed on. So I did that, and then I machine sewed them together, and now I have to pin them and then machine sew them to the front and the back bodice. And yeah, so that wasn't too tricky. It was just a little time consuming. So once that was done, clearly I had to admire it again for a bit. And then it's time to put the midriff, it's the false, it looks like the belt or sash on the front. So yeah, again, one of them has interfacing and the other one doesn't. And yeah, I hate it when like you do a collar with interfacing and people use the interfacing on the one you can see. I usually put it on the back one. So that's what I did for this. I put the uninterfaced one on the front and then the other one on the backs. Here you can see them all pinned together. Well, you can't really, but yeah. And so that's what I did. And then I machine sewed it and then I pressed it, and oh my God, it just looks so hideous. It just looks so completely terrible. Normally I would unpick it, but I just couldn't be bothered, and I have so much black fabric. So I just cut another one and ironed on some more interfacing, and I put that over the terrible front one that wasn't interfaced. So yeah, now it's got interfacing on the inside and interfacing on the outside. And I just then pressed back the seam allowance on the top and the bottom and hand stitched it on. So you can't really see. But yeah, I would never normally do that. But I was just like, oh, yeah, it was just easier, and I was kind of in a little bit of a hurry. So yeah, now we're on the back, and sorry if whenever I use black it's a little bit dusty, but my camera gets so confused if it's just plain black. So I sort of have to find a dusty bookshelf or something and put a little bit of dust on it. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. That's why there's dust particles and everything. I'm just trying to get the camera to focus properly. So yeah, once I'd done that front midriff false sash thing, then I did the 2 ties, which are the back sash, and then I pinned them into the side, and then I pinned the back and the front together and I sewed them. Then I hand stitched the seam allowances down, and then once that took forever because it's like 2 really, really long seams. Then I got those sleeves out again, and yeah, I pinned them in, and yeah, here we are. Sort of looks like a kimono on the bench, but it's finally done. And yeah, it was so long that just doing all the little bits, and then yeah, putting the sleeves in was really the home straight, and then it was done. So here it is. I'm not completely thrilled with it. I mean, it's nice. It looks absolutely gorgeous from the side and the back, but from the front I feel like it looks really 70s and pilgrimy and a bit frumpy. See, this is it from the side, and you can see how flattering it is. But yeah, just from the front on this mannequin in particular, it just does not do it justice. But yeah, I love the back. I love the way it falls. I think it's really flattering. and the way it ties. But the front, I don't know. I think it's the black belt that I don't like. It's a bit much. I think if I'd just done one color, like just the same fabric on everything, if it had been all black or all the print. Also, yeah. Oh, so here's a picture just to show you what it should look like. It's that top one, the long one, with the sleeves from this one. And yeah, that's the number in case you want. I really think I should have done those dusty rose pink sleeves. I think I would have liked them better. But yeah. And I was going to put a black ruffle around the bottom, but I'm definitely not going to do that. Definitely not. I think it's the top looks a bit 1920s to me. Actually, the whole thing from the front kind of looks a bit 1920s to me, sort of. It's a little too prim and proper, but with this jacket, this Italian tweed one, I quite like it now, especially when you can see the cuffs hanging out of the sleeves of the jacket. I really like that. So it sort of makes it a little bit more rock and roll. And yeah, I like that combination. I definitely wear them in that pairing more so than just the dress. So yeah, which is, I mean, it might be a bit uncomfortable because the sleeves are a little bit puffy at the top. So but yeah, I do like this combination. I really like it. So then I just had to take some photos for like to get the front, the thumbnail. And here it is with the Barbie Learns to Code jacket. So it's the actual tweed is brown, chocolate brown, and it's two different browns with blotches of pinks and white in there. I think that's a good combination. But I like this one. I got this one out because it's a traditional, like a vintage Chanel jacket style. It's that looser cardigan style. And I think, yeah, the top of the dress looks very 1920s. And something about this jacket, it's one of the first tweed jackets that I ever made, is very sort of 1920s proper conservative sort of thing. So, yeah. I like the way this looks. I think the cuffs look a little bit weird on that one, but I have I was thinking about what else I could put it with, and I remember that I have a cape pattern and this other vintage rain jacket one that's got this perfect hood. So I was thinking I could make it like a Dracula cape with a hood. And that would look perfect over this red and black dress. And this is just the dress with my actual Chanel jacket. So the problem with this is my Chanel jackets don't have a structural layer. So you can sort of see the bump from the puffy sleeves, which I don't love, but I guess you could sort of press them a bit and they'd go away. So yeah, and yeah, it's got the Chanel button on it. So yeah, I like that pairing. So if I have to look a little bit boring but a little bit gothic, then that's the look I will go for. So yeah. Anyway, there we go. I made my Gunny Saxoween dress and I'm kind of happy with it. And it's very, like, it spins really well, which is good. And it's got nice long sleeves. And I like I don't like the style of the sleeve, but I do like the length. And I like that they're a bit puffy. And the print on the fabric is absolutely beautiful. And I do think it looks great with the Italian tweed jacket. I'll definitely wear that combination. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm not sure it's an entire success, but yeah, I think I'll try the pattern again and just use like one fabric for all the bits. And then, yeah. And I'll also use the remaining bits of the black and this pattern to make that 1939 dress, because I do think that one will look super cute. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and yeah, have fun making your own gunny saxoline dress.